Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've had a great week and are raring to go for some more great writerly advice to help you on your journey. Now I have a question for you. Have you ever had this problem with your heroes being bland or cliched? Well, if so, you're in the right place and time, because I will be sharing with you the worst hero tropes in fiction that will help you solve the problem you're having with your story. This will mainly pertain to crime fiction, but no doubt you can use the examples in any genre you write. I'm going to break it down into 10 simple steps, so be sure to stay to the end because you don't want to miss anything that can help you with your stories. Now, you may be asking, who am I to be giving this advice? Well, I am the gray-haired writer who has had lots of life experience, along with the experience of writing and publishing 2 novels, with the 3rd and 4th in the series coming up in a couple of months. So, without further ado, here's my video on the worst hero tropes in fiction. Number 1. The chosen one. In crime fiction, this can be the genius detective who seems destined to solve every crime they are on. This could be either due to unparalleled intellect, intuition, or their lineage being the child of a famous detective. This is a weak trope because it makes solving the crime a foregone conclusion. While we usually know that the cop gets his or her man by the end of the story, readers want to see the detective struggle to get there and not make it as though they, through a snap of the fingers, the criminal gets caught. You can improve this trope by subverting expectations. Maybe the supposed genius is a fraud and only looks brilliant because they are surrounded by capable allies. Or have your hero struggle with imposter syndrome. Being the child of a famous detective could put pressure on them to live up to expectations. You can also deconstruct the trope by having the peers be resentful of their supposed genius, which could cause problems with the interpersonal relationships. Number 2, in a similar vein, the perfect hero. An example of this is the detective who never makes mistakes, always calm under pressure and respected by everyone. This is weak because a flawless character is unrelatable to the reader and drains suspense from your story. To improve this trope, you can give the cop blind spots. A brilliant detective could have problems with interpersonal relationships and might not pick up on emotional cues. You can also give the detective a specific flaw. A cop like this could have overconfidence, and this could lead to a suspect escaping or an innocent person being arrested. The cop might focus on that innocent person and possibly ignore other evidence that points to other suspects. And you could also make them a relatable human. They could have a fear of failure or struggle with PTSD that could possibly come from investigating heinous crimes. Number 3, the lone wolf. This example for this in crime fiction is the detective who distrusts everyone and insists on working alone, thus alienating colleagues. This is weak for one thing, that no one can go it alone in anything, not to mention it can make the character unlikable, which you really don't want in your hero. To improve this trope, you can create justified isolation. Perhaps they've been burned by betrayal in the past, or they work in a corrupt environment where trusting others can be dangerous. Another way is to force your hero to work in a team. You can partner them with a rookie or other unlikely partner whose strengths complement the hero's weaknesses. This can give opportunities for growth and can be fun to create tension between the characters. And a third way is to show how loneliness affects them. They could long for personal connections, but push people away due to fear or anything else you can think of. Number 4. The reluctant hero. In crime fiction, this is a retired detective who, despite vowing never to return to the job after a particularly traumatic case, is dragged back into the action. Why you don't want this is because if the refusal of the call drags on too long, it will slow down the narrative. And to improve this trope, you can add stakes, tie it into something personal, like the loved one in danger or something from the cop's past they can't ignore. Evolve the reluctance over time. Have their initial refusal of the call transform into determination to get it right this time. This could be through newfound clarity or external pressures. And you can play with the trope. Perhaps the hero could mentor a younger detective, only to step in when the wet behind the ears cop gets in over their head. Number 5. The bland everyman. This could be the cop with no memorable traits, quirks, or unique perspectives. You don't want this because if they aren't distinct, they will become unforgettable in a saturated field of crime fiction detectives. You can make this better by give them a niche. Have your cop be an expert in something like cold cases, cybercrime, art theft, or anything your imagination can go wild on. Personal stakes. Let's say they had a family member be a victim of a serial killer. You can also give them personal connection to the crimes, can often feel more compelling. And number 6, the dark and edgy hero. You've seen the shows or read the books with a hard drinking detective or anything along those lines. Just joking, I'm not intoxicated. A weak trope because it's been overdone and by now totally cliched. Some better ways to have this type of hero is focus on balance. Have flashes of hope or humor. They could have a connection to a pet or lifelong friend, and no one is so dull they can't crack a joke every now and then. Make their trauma unique. In other words, don't have generic tragedies like having them get into this career because of being the victim of a crime themselves. Instead, maybe they had a professional failure where an innocent person was sent to prison and now they want to make up for that mistake. You can also evolve their arc. Don't have them endlessly wallowing in the misery of their past. Have them come to terms with it, grow, and move on. Number 7, the Mary Sue or Gary Stu. You've heard of this, probably, or maybe even read it in a book, or saw it in a TV show or movie. You could also have committed the cardinal sin of writing a Mary Sue or Gary Stu. If you only did it in a first draft without publishing it, don't fret, you still have time to make it better. In crime fiction, this could be the rookie cop who, with a snap of the fingers, solves the crime, outsmarting seasoned pros. This is unrealistic, removes tension, and can make your rookie cop the wonder kid type. Here's ways to make improvements on this. Give them realistic challenges. If they're great at deduction, have them struggle with physical confrontation or gaining the respect of colleagues or struggling with the bureaucracy of the department. You can have your rookie grow as a greenhorn. They will likely make mistakes early on in the story, thus forcing them to learn on the job and from criticism from the more experienced cops. You can also give them help. Under the guidance of an older pro, the rookie will or should learn that collaboration is the key to a successful outcome. Number 8, the hero that won't kill. You might see this in a story where the detective refuses to fire his weapon even under dire circumstances. This can cause the criminal to run free and jeopardize the other innocent lives. This will make your fictional cop look naive and create plot holes. Now, to improve this trope, create a moral dilemma. Have the cops struggle with the consequences of not shooting the criminal when other lives are now at risk from the decision. You can justify their stance, show the detectives see the consequences of taking lives erodes people's humanity, and they refuse to cross that line. And you can challenge their code. Thrust your hero into a situation where there was no choice but to shoot and kill another character, and have them grapple with the damage to their mental health. Water right now. Number 9, the one-note Avenger. This could be the character whose sole motivation is to avenge a murdered loved one. The single-minded focus can eventually feel repetitive. And here's how to make this one better. Wait for it. Expand their motivation. If they start out with one determination to avenge their murdered relative, have it grow into wanting to protect others from the dangers of the world or uncover systemic corruption. You can explore the costs, show how their determination for revenge affects their whole life, relationships with surviving family members, work colleagues, and their own mental health. You can also complicate the target. Make it so the person they were avenging wasn't as innocent as the hero originally thought. This might make them reevaluate what they're doing. And finally, number 10. The too stupid to live hero. You will see this in a crime fiction story where a detective constantly ignores evidence, protocols, or maybe even common sense, and they survive only through sheer luck. Perhaps they should get a lottery ticket. Or they make it to the end of the story alive due to your plot armor. In case it's not obvious, you don't want this, as it will insult your reader's intelligence. But here's how you can get a handle on this trope. Ground their mistakes. Have them mess up due to desperation, lack of experience, or pressure from the ticking clock. You can show the consequences of their bad decisions. This could be missing a lead, an innocent person getting arrested, or harm to a partner. Have them learn. As they go through the story or the series, if you make more than one book, make your once impetuous officer become more thorough, not wanting to make the same mistake twice. And there you have it. My 10 worst hero tropes in crime fiction, and how to improve them. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to my newsletter, and ring that bell to be notified when each new video goes live, so you don't miss any important writing advice. And if you so desire, subscribe to my newsletter where you will receive a free short story. The link is in the description. And before you go, be sure to check out my video on the 10 worst villain tropes. Have a great day and week. So long.